this video is really for, I'm going to say, for beginner traders who are, young-minded, who are 18 years old, say for example, and have the hunger and passion and really want to start trading the future markets. All right. Maybe you've been reading the Wall Street Journal. Maybe you have been, studying the markets for some time on some charts. Or maybe you have a family member or friend that you know that has been investing and you've taken interest in it. Okay. Maybe you already know how to read the markets and are very good at doing so. You've just been waiting for their opportunity to really, for the switch to turn on to where you can start trading, meaning getting to that age to where you now can open up your first brokerage account, right? When you're 18, you can start an account, okay? And again, maybe that's what you're waiting on. But there's some things that you're going to really need to know outside of the, the concepts that you need to learn and understand. And that's where to get started as far as, okay, what platform do I use? What broker do I use? So you have to kind of do your homework to determine which one, broker is better fit for you. The one I use is AMP Futures, okay? I have talked about it. They are a good broker. But, when it comes to trying to do your own research online, everybody's going to have their opinions about certain things. No, use this broker. No, use that broker. You have to figure out what works best for you, okay? AMP Futures they're a valid broker. They are a regulated futures broker just as well. Or you can use NinjaTrader, okay? NinjaTrader, you can use them for brokerage services and set up an account that way, and also you can use them as for charting for your charting or platform of choice when it comes to charting the future markets as well. All right, so it all depends on what markets you're looking to actually trade. You're looking to trade the E-mini S&P 500, the Nasdaq futures, whatever future market that you want to trade. Just figure out what broker and trading platform you want to use. Now, AMP Futures has a variety of different I'm not trying to say charting platforms or companies that they're tied to in which you can use for, setting up your charts and things of that nature. So maybe you have used Sierra Charts in the past or TradingView in the past. Some of the other charting platforms out there. If you go to their website, ampfutures.com, you'll see that they have a various variety of platforms to use. NinjaTrader is the one I preferably love to use. I've been using them since day one, even though I'm using AMP Futures because I'm grandfathered in. But they two do not do business together any longer, AMP Futures and NinjaTrader. So, but because I'm grandfathered in, as long as I don't stop using or cancel my account with AMP Futures, I'm still good to use both together. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that you really have to figure out, what tools you want to use. You want to use a trading platform with NinjaTrader. You want to use one with AMP Futures. It's going to be up to you. Now, when it comes to actually figuring out what kind of strategy to use, that's where it gets a little bit more complex, because then you have to really dig deep to find something that's going to work for you that you can be consistent with. That's where I talk about here on this channel here. Future Trading with Mike is a very good strategy surrounding multi-chart confluence. Now, you should know by now, if you have experience in trading and you have been talking to someone that is making money within the markets, maybe a friend or family, like I said, maybe they have a strategy, okay? Maybe they know one that works. Maybe you know that what they're doing is consistently, they're consistently profitable each and every day, right? And if they are, then just kind of use what the model in which they are trading with, the strategy, right? But if not, here on this channel, I talk about chart confluence, okay? Because confluence is very important. The more you have on your side stacked up, in favor of you, it's going to work more so in your favor. Now, I do recommend anyone out there who is young, just getting ready to graduate high school, to kind of push forward, figure out what you want to do with your life. Even, go to school, go to college, get a degree, have a backup plan. It's always great to have that, right? And get that college degree just as well. Now, you can always trade, okay? As long as you have the capital to be able to do so at any given point in your life. You can trade right there in your dorm if you choose to, right? Some people work full-time jobs while they're in college or part-time jobs. Imagine being in college and being able to take one little scalp a day, scalping the future markets, and being able to make a couple $100 a day while you're in college, all right? Wouldn't that be a dream? A few $1,000s, maybe a month, okay? Just sitting in college. And, at that age, you shouldn't be having any debt unless you're taking out, say, financial loan money, things of that nature like that. Or maybe you have some small little bills, pay a cell phone or whatever the case is, or, whatever else that you may have to pay. But when you're in college, you shouldn't have, any kind of debt. You should be kind of scot-free, okay? Outside of any student loan money that you may have to pay back in time, okay? Unless a lot of you are getting scholarships, which is great to secure, your tuition and housing and your meal plan, all that stuff that you have to have when you're in college. So I highly recommend you going to college. But for those that choose not to go that path, because I know college is not for everybody, and you really understand the markets and you're smart enough to know, maybe you have been sitting next to somebody who's been where you can demo and simulation trade with them using their account, say for example, or just using some of the charting platforms that are free online, and you have become so great at understanding market structure, because that is the key, understanding that concept and being able to take trades and paper trading basically, and seeing that you're consistently profitable each and every day. Maybe this is the opportunity for you. There's become a lot of successful young people that are making it big in the trading world, especially when it comes to trading futures. So, but the key to it all, again, is structure. You have to figure out what tools you want to use. And outside of that, you also have to definitely define a great trading plan for yourself and stick to that. That is what you really need to stick to. I'm telling you, don't deviate from it, because that's going to be, the rules that you need to follow to keep yourself in checks and balances. But outside of that, the strategy is important. And if you don't have a strategy and you're someone that's interested in learning, I'm not saying jump right into it and start putting money into a brokerage account or anything like that. But if you're someone that's interested in getting started, I talk about a great strategy covering surrounding multi-chart confluence. A lot of traders will talk about top-down analysis. That is extremely important, because you want to be trading with what is going on overall from a higher base standpoint, okay? So, and then using a lower base chart to actually trade from. Just like today, for example, I'm just going to show you guys, anyone out there who is young, and this is even for people who are watching who are, not as young, but for all the fellow young people out there who maybe are 18 and older, who are, graduating this year, for example, and who had their mindset to go to college, or maybe not. It depends on, whatever it is you choose to do with your life. And let's say you've been working, you've been putting money aside or away, and you want to kind of start dabbling in the markets a little bit. I'm not telling anyone to go full in. I will recommend this. If you're young and you know how to trade, or you know what you're doing, again, maybe someone has shown you and taught you the right ways to be able to do so, trade the micro starting with. I'll say that again. Trade the micro future starting off with, until you can prove consistency once you have your brokerage account established and everything is set up, the trading platform. Trade the micro so you can start building that account, and that will prove to you over time the consistency. If you become profitable, that you can then possibly move up to some of the larger markets, like the E-mini markets. All right, so the micro E-minis is where I would start at, anyone who's young. But the strategy and how I trade each and every day is it's very simplistic. It's not not a whole lot of bells and whistles tied to it. I'll say like that. First, what you just need to do is figure out the direction of the market, like I always talk about. Are we pushing higher, making higher highs and higher lows, or for example, making lower lows and lower highs, meaning aggressive selling to the downside, for example. So, like right here, I'm just going to show you a quick example. This is a beautiful area on May the 13th. There's multi-chart confluence here. Always start with your higher base chart. All right, for me, I'm using range-based charts, so I'm looking at 120. Okay. So if I'm using my higher base chart, I want to identify first the direction of what the market is doing. Which way are we trending first and foremost? If we're bullish, I only want to be trading going long at key areas of demand. Okay. All right. Demand is aggressive buying. You should know by now, especially if you're someone that's really interested and want to learn how to trade the correct way, what supply and demand really entails and how to draw those zones up. That's important. Now, this is a valid area of demand right here. We had a breaker structure. You need to know that concept as well. Aggressive buying right here, which is, an area of demand. I want to mark my higher base or higher time frame chart up first. The zone. This being a demand zone, I mark up the 120 range chart for me. Okay. Now, this could possibly be maybe a 60 range chart for you. I'm not saying the two are comparable in any kind of way, but this could be if you trade time-based charts. Now, then what I want to do is you can start scaling down to your lower time frame charts. For the next chart I would use, let's say the 60 range, right? So here's a 60 range chart. Here's that blue box, which was the 120 range from the higher time frame, which is one step or one scale above. And now I'm looking to see, okay, do we have another zone, which is a beautiful demand zone resting on the inside of my 120 range zone. So I'll mark up we do have one right here. I'll mark up my 60 range demand zone. It's right there. I'm gonna put that in red, okay, in red. So now I got the 120 range off the 120 range demand zone off of the higher time frame 120 range chart. Scale down to the 60 range. I find that I have a demand zone resting on the inside of my larger, higher time frame zone. So I'll mark that up just as well. All of these are high probability zones. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about when I say high probability, go to the homepage of this channel, Future Trading with Mike. Use a little magnifying search tool and type in gaps, imbalances, and there'll be some videos discussing what I mean by high probability versus low probability. You got to have an imbalance or gap resting back at the zone. The third thing I'm going to do is move down even lower to get into a more precise entry point or trade down to my lowest chart, which is my 24 range chart. So that may be like a 5-minute chart for you. Could be, depending on if you trade time-based charts. Let me go back to this zone here. Here it is right here. You see all this confluence right here. Beautiful. These are the type of setups that we want to see. We don't always get them, but this is where things really work out. Because you can see this was a beautiful trade where it came back and tested the 120, the 60. Then I look and see we've actually got a 24 range zone on the inside of the 120 to 60 range, and we have a 24 range zone right there. I'm going to take a trade off of this because there's a whole lot of confluence in this area. 3 major zones, okay? 3 zones off of 3 charts that bring the whole picture together, okay? So let me say this. Confluence, the more you have on your side at a particular level of zone, the better the trade is going to work more so in your favor, okay? This is the strategy, and this is an example here of one of the most sweetest type of setups you will possibly ever see, especially if you're using 3 charts. If you get confluence off of just 2 charts in itself, that's enough. But I wouldn't just trade it based on one chart, oh, this is a demand zone or this is a supply zone. Do you have more confluence than just that on that one chart? You want to have multiple means of confluence. In this case here, I have multiple means of confluence off of bringing the whole picture together from 3 different charts, okay? Just kind of like piecing things together in a sense where everything can kind of make sense. Higher base, middle base chart, lower base chart, 3 means of confluence. That is a no-brainer. I need to take that trade because it's going to almost 95% or more work out and go in my favor, move in my favor, okay? So this is one of the easiest strategies that I believe that anybody who is young, who wants to get their feet wet, who's old enough to open up their own brokerage account and get started, say, for example, after graduation. Again, guys, I'm telling you to really push yourself to go to college because just think about it. Yeah, you can do this and make some money part-time. You don't need to go get a job really and work for someone if you can understand and make money trading, but go to college, okay, is what I'm trying to say. I'm telling you that school is very, very, very important, and you can, whether you have your degree to fall back on or you have trading to fall back on one way or the other, and just imagine that, hey, I go to school, got my degree, I'm going to get my job into the field I love, but you can also trade too. Then you have 2 streams of income coming in and being young. So that's going to shortcut your path to retirement is what I'm trying to say. Imagine being in your early 30s or max at 40 years old and being able to retire because you have found something, the key to open the door that is going to allow you to make money while you're young as you're working your way through school to get that degree. And then when you get out of school, it's like, all right, now I'm doubling it up because now I have a full-time income, a full-time check receiving from my job, and I also have income coming in from trading. Just imagine that. So watch some of the video content here on this channel. And to anyone out there who wants to become an elite member, especially an ultra elite member, what do you receive? Let me talk about that because people always DM me and ask me questions. How can I join? The link is down in the description portion of the video. Scroll down. The first link is the Discord. It's free. The second one is the ultra elite link or ultra elite membership link. Once you click on that, 3 tiers are going to pop up. You probably want to choose the last one. Why? Because if you choose the last tier, you get everything that's included in the rest of the tiers as well, plus more. With the Ultra Elite membership, you get the live recorded trading sessions that I do. Okay, as I'm trading, I'm recording my sessions. You get those so that you can go back and see, okay, what did Mike do today? What was he looking at? What was his mindset on when it came to structure? How did he read the markets? What trades did he take? All that's captured in the live traded recording sessions. Plus, you get the market recaps where I go back and do a recap of the structure for the day. Also, you get the trade breakdown videos, the video playlist, and a great video that I covered on covering market structure. Okay, so if you're interested in becoming an Ultra Elite supporter, the link is down in the description portion of the video. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please take the time to go ahead and click that sub button right now. Make sure to turn your post notifications on so you do not miss any of the uploaded content here on the channel by clicking the bell. Last but not least, guys, you guys already know. If you haven't already done it, please take the time to go ahead and click that thumbs up button, that like button. It helps the video content in which I make get out onto the channel and within the algorithm so that people who are searching for this type of video content, hey, I'm looking for a great future trading strategy. I want to, how do I start trading futures today? Things of that nature, whatever the case is, or simply just like this, 18 years old and I want to start trading futures. This type of video content will populate and you'll probably see the video in which I'm making right now on there, okay? So that other people and yourself can gain access to various tools that are going to help you. So please do me the biggest favor, especially if you found value in today's video, click that like button. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next video, and that's going to wrap it up.